Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast where we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
Well, that was a take.
Yeah, that's about what I expected
right
from this. Watching this. Yes, we were talking about 2006's Dracula from the BBC and the fine folks at Masterpiece Theatre.
Yeah, so who would have been doing the intro to this in 2006?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I'm not sure who the host was, but this time
I'm looking it up.
Okay,
yeah,
you take care of that. So right off the bat, for the folks who aren't psychic and weren't listening into our homes, John and I did a little talking about this off mic, and John was anticipating that I would have a hot take.
Hold on, this was the first era where they did not have a host anymore.
Oh, no host?
Yeah, that's starting in 2004. They stopped having a host, and they haven't had one since.
Oh, man. See, the fun for me with Masterpiece Theater and Mystery was always like, oh, you get intros from these cool folks.
Oh, we've talked about our beloved Vincent Price, of course, doing Mystery on PBS.
And Diana Rigg, also speaking of beloved.
And when I was in high school, it was Alan Cumming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Man, what a good choice.
Great, yeah.
He should intro everything.
He really should.
But what I was saying is, surprisingly, I think we're both in agreement. This may not be your Dracula cup of tea. Ooh, he's rhyming. But I respect the heck out of this because it was a swing.
It was a
big swing.
I went into this almost ready to go, do I even need to take notes? We've seen so many of these. It's going to be another handsome but boring, very faithful, baseline good Dracula interpretation with some talented actors. And then almost immediately I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? And that was my biggest surprise. I was like, this is a real take. Some people came in with vision. I think the biggest thing against this is that it's just contained in a 90-minute TV movie runtime.
Yeah, there's that. They shove a lot into Act 3.
Yeah,
that was like, wow.
Do. And that's,
pacing wasn't ideal here, story-wise.
But, I mean, and some of this, of course, obviously, we've watched a whole bunch of garbage on the show up to this point. So, boy, was this like a breath of fresh air. God damn, this was a cool drink of water in the endless desert of shit we've been, walking through the last few weeks here.
Masterpiece Theater is still made for television stuff. And they have a style that they usually don't dip below a certain level of quality. So in other words, I wasn't surprised to see this looking for a television film. It's handsome. It's handsome. They don't have a huge budget, you can tell, but at the same time, they're using their locations well. I'm like, yeah, this is good.
That's the thing.
I
think they keep for the most part, they keep their ambition pretty right on for the thing, right? I mean, like it's not trying to be more than a TV movie, and this is a good 90-minute TV movie.
Yep, and it ends up being, as we were just saying, solidly acted with a very good cast. And the direction isn't going to stun you, but there's some goodness.
But
there's some good there.
Absolutely solid, in line with a lot of BBC-made stuff. Bill Eagles is the director of this thing, who is, a veteran TV director who's directed tons of both British and American TV.
What I think where we're going to have to put a lot of our weight in this review is going to be on Mr. Stuart Harcourt, who is the screenwriter who adapted the story.
Whose name sounds like a Dracula character.
Yeah, it does. He essentially, and it is interesting to see that he is basically a guy who did work on Poirot and Marple. It's like, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Inspector George Gently, he did I think it was also a BBC, the Eddie Izzard Treasure Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which I did see.
So this is just such an interesting, not necessarily successful, but still very interesting take of I'm adapting Bram Stoker's story, but I've got my own ideas. Here it is.
And they're all the ideas.
It did wake me up. I was like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting.
And it being 90 minutes, I didn't feel it dragged. If anything, like I said, I actually could have used another half hour to maybe, make that ending a little smoother.
Yeah, but also it's like you do have a very good actor doing such a good job with Van Helsing, but we only get him for 3 minutes or 2 minutes at the very beginning, and then he is shoved into the end of the movie. You're like, we could have used more.
I actually think everybody here is doing a good job. I think everybody in this is very good.
I think so too.
Huh?
I like the actor playing Dracula. He was my main sticking point. Is that I didn't really like his take.
The thing I liked about him is he plays it subtle. He doesn't play it. He avoids the pitfall of playing the icon of Dracula, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
because that's always the difficulty. It's so hard to get this. I mean, one of probably in maybe the 5 most iconic characters in all of pop culture has got to be Dracula, right? And there's so many things people bring to it. So I like that he tried to just play him as a guy in a lot of ways. Similar to, and I think more successfully because it's also a better version, but similar to what I love about the Langella performance, where it's like, no, I'm going to be subtle and let sort of the weight of the scenes carry and people's reaction to me carry.
Yes, it is people's reaction. I'm
Dracula,
And a lot of what people are saying about him. One thing that this did that was interesting, like, my main problem is when we first meet him, and the classic Harker has gone to Transylvania stuff.
Yeah,
is that he's so clearly a creepy monster right off the bat with terrible makeup. This was bad makeup.
Yeah,
but that's not on the actor. But the choice he made was to make him right off the bat more like Orlok, more like Nosferatu, as in where in the book, and with a lot of the very good performances, including, you got to bring up Mr. Oldman, is that he looks weird. Oldman does, but he's doing exactly what it is in the book, which is he's very courtly. Yes. He's very polite. It's only in the undercurrent you're like,
there's a lot going into not only the performance, you bring up the makeup and the setting. Like Castle Dracula is the most desiccated, large, empty halls that are unclean.
And actually, that's okay. That's actually with the book.
But like everything about it sort of conspires to be like, this is the creepiest possible circumstances, because there sort of is that thing, as you bring up in the Dracula performance, of as creepy as everything seems, he is like, come on, welcome, I welcome you,
Yeah, the whole thing is that I'm putting he's like very much a courtly gentleman, and that is part of the deception, and then you find out exactly how supernaturally wrong and evil he is. Here, he's just like, I'm a monster, come in.
Yeah.
I am still a monster. Write things for me. Okay, great. And I'm still a monster.
And I think, I wonder if how much of that is him and the director versus the script as well, where it's sort of, the idea is like, then I regain my humanity. They really play it as, there's a monster, and then that's the thing. And
since this one makes the spoiler alert, I mean, if you guys haven't watched it, but one of the big changes is he kills Harker in Transylvania.
Yeah.
And this is the screenwriter saying that's how he became young.
Right.
Is that he drained Harker, and it also, in a way, is like he's taking on his life, because when he goes to England, it's an interesting concept.
When Mina first sees him, she thinks he's Jonathan Harker.
Yeah. And so that is an interesting concept. He's basically stolen that man's life, and he's coming to England.
Yeah.
And I do like the way people talk about him before he arrives and once he arrives, because there's this whole conspiracy of Satanists thing we got to get into. But the whole thing is, here he's playing it, as you said, he's playing it subtle and somewhat human. But it's the story and everyone else that's going, you have no idea what you've unleashed.
That's the biggest
Basically,
thing.
in this, Dracula is essentially Satan that is come to England.
Which is, sort of putting more at the forefront and literalizing something that is the subtext of the book, right? Which is the idea of this infection on English society of this dark force.
An infection, you mean like something like syphilis?
Yes, right. But that's the thing. What I like about this is it is making it sort of very classic supernatural horror thing of like, you don't know the forces you've unleashed. Arthur Holmwood specifically, played by one of our favorites. We both love Dan Stevens, who's always
and he's great.
And I was so glad he gets. This is a way better use of him than that Frankenstein miniseries. That totally kicked him to the side.
You had been saying last week, you're like going, oh man, Dan Stevens is playing Arthur Holmwood, but still, and this movie, again, one of the big changes is this movie is entirely focused on Arthur and Lucy, and off to the side for half a second is Jonathan and Mina. Mm-hmm. They're not the main characters.
No.
This one
Mina kind of becomes a central protagonist by the end of it.
By the end, yes, but it's still such a different take. Mm-hmm. Here the story is the story of what Arthur is willing to do, a deal with the devil, as it were, to try and have it all. A real life and love marriage with Lucy, but he has an illness that we find out pretty much right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, let's dive into the plot, I guess, then, as we go through this, because we're talking about this. I mean, immediately I was, thrown off by the beginning of this thing. Starts with Van Helsing in his bed, and this dark figure enters, and he screams, and there are fangs, and I'm going, oh, what I was waiting for is the, 2 weeks earlier or something like that, but no, yet another turn. Instead, we go to Whitby, and Arthur is coming to Lucy's home. He's, of course, got poetry for her. God, they're both just gorgeous, of course, because it's Dan Stevens and Sophia Myles.
Young Dan Stevens, who's still an attractive man, and young Sophia Myles, and she is still a very beautiful woman. But here they are in the bloom of youth.
Yes.
So they are two very, very beautiful people.
Yes. Dan Stevens has long been my I've quietly championed him for Bond. I think he'd be awesome.
As long as he dyes his hair.
Okay, yeah. Whatever. But so my favorite Bond
black hair, black hair,
no.
That's what he's got.
The best Bond is blonde. The best actors played Bond is blonde. So I'm gonna go with that. Anyway. It's very cute. He's reading her poetry. He's stammering. She gets what's going, and she says yes before he even asks her to marry him.
Yeah. That's the whole thing, is that they've got a thing going on. And pretty quickly, Arthur goes to see his buddy, John.
Played by the not at all bad-looking either Tom Burke.
Nope. John Seward.
Dr. John Seward.
I think he does call him Jack at one point. I'm like, yeah, I prefer him being called Jack. But most of the movie, they call him John. And so they get that part of it out of the way. By the way, all you Quincy lovers, sorry, not a Texan to be found in this adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for that wouldn't, because we're not really playing the three-suitor thing. Like
we're not doing that.
She and Olmwood are here, so that's.
But basically, he goes and says, "Look, I know that you've loved her since you were a kid.
Yeah.
But we're good friends. She has said yes. She's going to be my wife. Are we still friends? I'm so sorry." And Seward's got the game face on. He's like, "I wish the both of you the best happiness." And he's like, great. Meanwhile, I gotta go see my dad.
Yeah, I do like this like all this happiness, and there's this I do like the way this is put together, because it's like, man, everything's going well with this guy, and then they cut to an out of context dude in a straitjacket screaming, and then it's like at Homewood Castle, and you're like, wait, there's like some, and then once again I'm going, what is this?
They are playing with your expectations. Seward does not run an asylum in this either, and they make very little mention of him being a psychologist.
The only thing is
he's more like just doctor guy.
When they go to him, when they introduce him, you do see the plaque on his door that says Dr. John Seward, and I think it is psychologist or something like that, psychiatric
or alienist or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it says. But like that's about the only mention we really get of it. Other than that, he's just doctor. And also when they bring him to Lucy when she's sick, and he's like, "Well, I'm not really that kind of doctor," but that's kind of
right, exactly. So you got yes. So they do this thing with a guy in a straitjacket, and there are a lot of points in this movie that are like, because it is of its period, fast, quick cuts of something. You're like, I don't know what that is, and then we're about to find out. But in the novel, it's
very modern for masterpiece, you know.
In the novel, when Lucy is getting sicker because Dracula's during the story of the novel, Arthur's father does pass, which makes him Lord Homewood. Lord Godalming.
Godalming, yes.
And so that's here, but instead they've shoved it up in time, and the reason he died is because of syphilis. It's driven him mad, and
that is what I'll give Harcourt, the writer of this, is a lot of the changes they're very smartly done, I think. Like, a lot of the deviations are like, he picked up that thread, and I'll put that here, which ties to this, which creates this context. Like, it's not just him going like, fuck the book. It's so interesting, because as we bring that up, I don't know if you looked at the IMDb reviews for this, but a lot of really mad Stoker fans just going like, fuck this shit. What is this bullshit, man?
As a fellow fan of the original source material, I can see why they'd be upset, but at the same time, what have we ever gotten that is exactly dead on? In other words, we are never going to get it. So in other words, this is at least like when I read Anno Dracula and I sit there going, this is a brilliant take, and it's not beholden to the book. But I basically am okay with people mucking stuff along as long as it's done intelligently and seemingly with respect. And that is the case here. I didn't, when I went on Letterboxd to put this in, I gave it 2.5 stars, and I didn't say I liked it, because here's the thing. This isn't for me, but I appreciated it. In other words, it's not my cup of tea, but I was like, well done, you. Still not going to watch it ever again because it is so far from what I want. At the same time, I respect this.
I mean,
I can respect it without saying that I really liked it.
You've got literally people going like, Stoker's
but
turning
giving
in his
it
grave.
1 star here.
Are you Dracula? This isn't. Come on.
Why haven't I heard of this version? Because it's terrible. That's what this one guy said.
I saw that one too. Yeah. Yet another wasted opportunity. How dare they? And
it's its own thing.
Yeah. As they are all their own thing. That to me, that's
pretty much.
I'm always looking for the take. Someone that's important to me is someone has a take. That's I think that's kind of what you're saying too. It's like, it's not clumsy. It's like that's what I love about. Of course, I love the Coppola movie so much, which is faithful, more faithful than a lot of versions, but is still the Coppola take on it. It is as much as it's called
all that romance stuff that gets glommed onto the story. That's not in the book. But I mean, so that's another one where the quality is so high.
But it always also comes back to the thing, right? About like when these people is just like, then go read the book. Like, the book is there, man. I get it. No one's burning copies of the book.
Yet.
Well, until I think some people might
until Trump wins.
I was going to say until there are some people who might be questioning some of the darker stuff in the book and going, what is this, vampires?
Yeah, we got to get rid of this. Kids are reading this.
They're going to summon vampires, just like when you read Harry Potter.
They're going to start doing blood transfusions. Without training.
Yeah. So we have this doctor pull Arthur aside and go, look, your dad, he's dying of syphilis. And
what's hilariously weird about the editing here is that Arthur goes into Dad's bedroom. Dad is in the straitjacket and is eating out of like a tin because your brain does go. And yes, you also get lesions. So he looks like this horrible leprosy.
And you get the sense Arthur hasn't been there a while because he is like, oh fuck, I didn't know it got this bad.
And then it immediately cuts to the coffin being nailed down.
I know.
So essentially, he showed up, and Dad must have died 5 minutes later.
That's the kind of stuff where I'm saying, like, the limitations of the format mean doing things like that that I'm not, like, radically holding against it, because you can only do so much. Like,
yeah.
The BBC says this thing has to be 90 minutes on the button or else,
Yeah. So that could have been maybe smoothed over or explained, but anyway.
But yeah,
the doctor
and the guy's like, yeah, it was syphilis, man, real bad, worst case I've seen.
Yeah, and he's like going, and turns out, you know how your mom drowned? Here's the thing. I think actually she may have committed suicide because she knew she had the syphilis too because of your dad. And you've got it too.
Because you were born with it. Yeah, which is the worst, right? When it's just like, I didn't do anything, and I didn't do anything
to deserve it.
Yeah, it's like, God
and I just got engaged to an incredibly beautiful woman who I want to do things with, but now I can't.
Yeah, that kind of adds this thing that is always about the repression of sexuality in this culture that is inherent to it. But they've added the very real scientific now with the supernatural, which I think is really interesting. I was like, ooh. And then when he's going, I started to kind of see where he was going a little bit.
And it's also a very Victorian age kind of thing. The dark secret of the rich folk and their sexually transmitted diseases. It's like, oh, they are above us, yet they're not.
I do like in this scene, though, the doctor is like, you weren't like going to marry anybody. He's like, actually, I just got engaged. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Dude,
so he's like, there has to be a cure. And he's like, no, there is no cure. And as of, 1890, whatever, there was no cure. So he's like, shit.
And you've got a great scene of Dan Stevens literally raging at God.
Yeah.
Why have you forsaken me? It's good stuff.
That's a little like, oh, who could pull that off? But he does because he's Dan Stevens.
He's that good. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, believe it or not, folks, if you hire good actors, they can make a lot work. They can't make anything work necessarily, but they can make a lot work.
They can do a lot of
That's
heavy
the thing
lifting.
that gets me, though. Do you see how many people in the IMDb's are going like, oh, God, and this terrible acting? I'm like, whoa.
What?
That's like the biggest thing working for this cast is excellent.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, geez, even Rafe Spall for the 2 seconds that he's Jonathan Harker. He's great.
He's my Dan Stevens from the Frankenstein thing, where it's just a bummer because that guy is a great actor. And he does great with those scenes.
This is the sweetest Jonathan Harker we've ever seen.
100%.
Like, the most innocent lamb Jonathan Harker. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. So it does give you the gut punch when he's actually killed, and you're like, that guy never had a chance.
That's something that works, is I do feel like just the couple scenes you get him with him and Stephanie Leonidas, they're they're cute. They're
cute
very
and
cute.
So in love, and they're actually much more frisky than they are in the books.
Yeah, Lucy's
books. It's Lucy's the one who's like, I want to get on everybody.
They make that Lucy just has normal sexual urges once she's married, and her husband is like, no,
I can't touch you.
And she's
he's
like,
literally sleeping next to her in his full suit.
I know that scene. Yeah, what a great shot.
Oh my God. But anyway, so yes, they're wait, where are we? So he comes back from dead dad.
Yes, and you also have Lucy asking Seward, like, please come to the wedding. He's like,
it's like, we are still friends. I love you dearly. And he's like, I'm upset.
And I will say, Tom Burke, as an actor, I've never seen him in something where he isn't brooding. So he's just got that face.
He's got the brow, the set of the brow. I'm like, yeah, that guy is a brooder.
Yeah, like he's Athos in the BBC Three Musketeers.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, and then now he plays Cormoran Strike on CB Strike, the BBC series based on the J.K. Rowling mysteries.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and of course he was Orson Welles in Mank.
Yes, I do know that.
Another guy who could brood.
He could brood, but also be incredibly ebullient.
Yes.
Oh, I pulled out that word.
Yeah, you did, man. I
gotta go back
as I watch you put your thesaurus away. So yes,
but anywho,
yeah. So he's upset, but he's like, I guess, and then you've got Holmwood being like, hey, maybe we should like cool it on the wedding for a little bit. Just wait a while. And basically, she hits him.
Lucy's like, what? Come on, we've already delayed a few months. He's like, maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe a little bit longer while I get this syphilis thing. What was that? Nothing.
Nothing. But it's at some sort of engagement party kind of thing that we do see for the first time. Mina and
Harker
Jonathan
is coming, going, I've just passed the solicitor exam. This is going to be great. Because they talk about, like, well, you know, you guys have been postponing forever. It's like, well, just till that. Now we're going to get married. Which, you know, Arthur's going to be like, oh, fuck. That was my way out. Now that you guys are, like, in to do it, shit.
I mean, this is a different way, obviously, that these characters are meeting than the book. But one thing I do like, again, smart writing, is you've got Jonathan Harker, who is not titled nobility, and he's at this fancy engagement party for someone who is. And so Jonathan Harker, who's just a young lawyer, is the same age as Arthur, is calling him sir.
Yeah.
Like, is like going, well, sir, yes, he goes, what's the firm you're with, Harker? And he goes, oh, it's, you won't know it, and blah, blah, blah. It's just really the two of us. It's me and that guy.
We don't handle rich
Hawkins and blah, blah. And he goes, yes, I've never heard of it. Sorry. But that's also setting up part of the plot, which we'll find out. Yeah. He's found out basically what we're going to be led to find out is that Seward is so desperate for a cure that he hooks up with some Satanists.
you know how, I mean, in a Hammer movie they are all abound, so it's almost kind of.
And actually, there were parts of this I was like going, Hammer would have had a field day with this exact same script.
Absolutely, it's got some of the narrative beats of a Hammer movie, but it doesn't indulge in the.
I mean, it does get some sexy in there, but, you know, Masterpiece Theater sexy.
Well, yeah, and sort of Victorian literature sexy to a certain extent, right? Like, it is that thing of like, oh my, you know, like that sort of sexiness.
Dracula grabs some boob, but it's still underneath a non-diaphanous nightgown.
Yes, exactly.
I know you guys were worried about that, but but the whole thing is that apparently
he's talking to this guy Alfred Singleton.
Yes, he goes into London and talks to this guy Singleton, who's dressed like a priest.
Yes.
Oh, but my friends.
Oh, no, not that kind of priest.
He is no Christian priest.
And this is Donald Sumpter, is this guy who plays Singleton, and you've seen him.
And we've seen him
in
a million things.
Yeah,
everything.
He's just got a great face.
He is a great British character actor face.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they go in there, and he's like, "Now you're telling me that you know a guy who can fix my problem, and all I have to do is take a blood oath to your weird religion? I don't see anything wrong with that."
I'm totally down with that. And he's like, great.
Done.
When can this guy take care of me? He goes, well, he's in Transylvania, so yeah.
Do you know anyone going to Transylvania by any chance?
So this is, man, Homewood does come out of this like a villain in a way.
He is a
sympathetic
villain driven by its. I mean, like I said, he's sort of a classic horror movie character of the desperate guy turning to the supernatural, not fully realizing what he's unleashing.
Yes, and at the end, he's begging God for forgiveness for all he's done and all that. But
and boy, does he go out in this thing too! Holy shit!
Oh boy,
that was a real like wow, Masterpiece Theater. Good Lord.
Yeah, and then at the end, you're like, really? You guys are shipping those guys? All right. But anyway, so we have Jonathan Harker meeting with Hawkins, his boss.
Yep.
And actually, I really because in the book, you don't get much of an impression of Hawkins.
Yeah.
But here he's like Fizzywig from like Christmas Carol.
Very much so.
Because he's the older, delightful guy who really loves his young assistant, like going, oh, I've got such a great opportunity for you. You're going to travel now that you're a solicitor. There's this big job we just got. I envy you because if I were younger, it'd be me. You get to go to Transylvania.
He's played by Ian Redford, another veteran British character actor who's actually on CB Strike with Tom Burke. So,
wow.
Yeah. This guy also played...
Stop selling that show by that famously transphobic author.
Yeah, but they're really good mysteries. I mean, you know... Whatever. I don't know. I don't support anything J.K. Rowling's saying, but I like that show, so I don't know.
It's okay. Yeah. All right, we're gonna let it go.
Well,
but
yeah. It's
so the whole thing is yay, I'm very excited, and I do like him going, where's Transylvania?
Yeah. Great. What?
And also it's like, what's the name of the client? And he goes, oh, it's Mr. Singleton. And he's like, no, who am I supposed to meet? Oh, it's Count Dracula.
I love the casual dropping of that, and no one being like, what?
Well, yeah, because
it's just like, okay,
it's something that Dracula. In the adaptation thing that I may or may not ever finish, my own radio drama thing, that's the main trick, is that people have to say this name with it having no weight.
Right.
Because Dracula in this world, no one knows him.
It's the same thing with doing an adaptation of Frankenstein, that people aren't going like, Dr. Frankenstein, or,
yeah,
right? It's just like, yeah, people, of course, it's just a guy. Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock isn't like, you mean Sherlock Holmes, which of course in our world is just synonymous with genius detective, right?
Well, very quickly, even in the classic stories, he does become a famous consulting detective that everyone does know the name.
Eventually, that's the thing. But I'm saying, like, when the show Sherlock starts, it's modern day.
Yeah.
And we're to believe no one has any context for a man named Sherlock Holmes. That's always the thing that's like... that's the thing I could never get past with the Ouija movie. I'm like, so this is an imaginary world where Ouija is not a mass-produced board game and is a, like, secret, supernatural thing.
I'll take your word for it, because I have no idea what movie you're talking about.
You don't know about the Ouija movie?
They made a Ouija movie?
They've made a couple of them now. But yeah, that's the thing where it's like, my grandmother has this old artifact called a Ouija board, and you're like,
yeah, that isn't mass produced by
right, and you're like, well, that's okay. So this is an alternate reality where, okay, all right,
no one's ever had one.
Yeah, it's very tough to make a Ouija board scary to me, right? Like in that context.
Yeah, I'm about to say, dude, you gotta watch out. Those are dangerous.
Oh, come at me, Ouija board.
Oh, snap.
The best.
You've basically, by the way, called out Ouija bowl and Ouija board.
Come at me. I will box either one. I will box that board.
I will literally put it in a box. That's
the best Ouija board I've seen, by the way, is the Stranger Things branded Ouija board that is the Christmas lights.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, all right, very smart. Very clever, Parker Brothers or whatever.
Yeah. But you can only use it while listening to Kate Bush.
Of course, that's the rule. It also includes a cassette. Yeah, so they send him away to handle the deal. They send him away to handle the deal with Dracula. They never say Carfax Abbey. They just say properties.
Well, they list a lot of properties.
Yeah, he's buying all these properties because literally we do have the sort of classic scene of him looking at the map, going like, "No, where is this?"
In locations, like, how far away from here is this? Okay, that sounds good.
I'm going to need access to local jazz clubs and such.
Is there a lot of Ubers and Lyfts around? Okay, good.
Perfect. Yeah. So he sends away. We get a very quick, because once again, 90 minutes. This thing's got to be over. We get a very quick montage of him traveling, and we get his letter back to Mina, Jonathan Harker, basically describing like, oh yeah, there's all kinds of like folk tales and superstitions. We don't get the like, you're going where from like the Universal movies, but we get like, okay, I'm going into places that people say are creepy, and we get a couple shots of him in coaches and such. And so he arrives at Castle Dracula, which is desiccated ruins, and the creepiest being that's ever existed pretty much walks into frame and is like, yes.
Yeah, I know. They've done the scraggly white hair.
I mean, they are trying to do the book to some extent, right? Where it's like he's old and
non-mustached. What are you gonna do?
You've got to give up on the mustache.
He's got bad makeup. It's supposed to be old age, but also like he's flaking. And
that's
like,
where
he's got the big.
That's where the TV movie resources show themselves a little bit, right? On that, you're like, oh yeah. I'm glad they don't spend a whole bunch of time with him in this makeup.
No, but he is dressed like a lord. That's nice, and he's like, here, have some food. We need to go over this stuff, but it'll have to be late at night because during the day I'm busy. All this is
All this is
stuff
great.
From the novel.
I do like where he's like, well, I was hoping we just kind of conclude the Harker's going like, I was hoping we could just kind of conclude this, and then I would be like on my way on the morning coach. He's like, no. That's not gonna, hey man, that ain't gonna happen. All right.
We also don't get vampire brides in this.
We don't. Well, because once again, that like the elimination of like Quincy, the bride, that all feels like time stuff, right? Where it's just like in 90 minutes. No, and also they're doing this thing where it's like he's just brought there so he can drain him, be young, and then go on his way.
And also get the paperwork signed. So I mean, he's multitasking. Dracula's multitasking.
If there's one thing we know about Dracula, man, he's the dude's got plans.
He's got big plans.
Big plans. Oh, I'm working on some big stuff right now. Big stuff.
You're not ready for what's coming. Let me just say.
Do you have any contacts in the patent office? Because I don't want anyone stealing these ideas. This is big stuff.
This is Shark Tank worthy. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, sharks. There's a sketch idea. Have Dracula.
Dracula on Shark Tank.
He's in the full cape and everything. Just hello, sharks. Today I'm bringing you.
Vampiric take over the world. That is my project.
It's like, do you remember?
Haven't come up with a logo for it yet.
Here's something no one. But do you remember when John Hamm did a Funny or Die sketch as Lex Luthor asking President Obama for a bailout?
Nope.
You need to look this up because it's so funny. Where he's like, "Hello, I'm Lex Luthor." He's in the bald cap and stuff, and he's just like, I know you've been giving a lot of money," and then eventually he goes, "What am I going to do with the money? I'm going to use it to kill Superman." And he's just like, it's kind of my thing.
All right, I gotta check that.
You'll very much enjoy it.
I'm sure I will.
And Hamm is very funny in it, of course.
Oh, John Hamm is funny?
It's not fair how handsome and funny that guy is.
No,
it's really not okay. So we do quickly go back to once again talk about these fast cuts that are more in the interest of time, and do feel very mid 2000s, but suddenly we go back to his boss Hawkins has been murdered. And then we do get talk about Hammer. We do get a couple of very Hammer-y inspectors going like, "Oh, Mina, eh? Well, now where is this fiancé of yours, eh?"
I mean, I see this from the writer's viewpoint. He's like, if I'm introducing this stuff, then I have to follow through because he's changed stuff from the novel, and this whole thing of like Hawkins being offed. Then it's like, I guess I should have the cops be suspicious of the young solicitor partner.
He's very conveniently in Transylvania, you say.
Oh, he's in Europe, is he?
Oh, yeah. And how long did he go to Europe? Okay.
Yeah, he's on the continent.
I did want them to be like, "Hey, just for you, don't leave town, okay?"
They essentially do say that.
They do basically say that. But these cops have nothing to do with the plot going forward.
Meanwhile, Seward and Lucy get married. Mina's still sad, though. And Lucy sees and is like, and she goes, "I'm sorry. I have the feeling that Jonathan's never coming back. And I'm so happy for you, but my heart is dead."
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing they talk about. The other thing the police have is they go, "Yeah, we didn't see any notes about this Dracula character."
Right. So, and actually, again, for what this guy has done to the story, this is clever. In other words,
like I said, it's not sloppy work by any stretch of the imagination. Which
the Satanists have set all this up through Holmwood, who is banking it, to get Dracula to England, specifically to London. And so, essentially, they're being like a criminal organization and covering their tracks. They offed the only solicitor of a small firm that's not going to cause a lot of, and they know that Jonathan's going to be killed in Transylvania. They take all the stuff.
Holmwood doesn't know that. That's key. Holmwood does not. That's key to him being fully a villain. Is he is not aware. But when he kind of puts together,
I didn't know that he wasn't coming back. I didn't know that.
When he puts that together, though, and he's like, "Hey, did you murder my, wife's friend?" And they're just like, "Well, things have to be done." And he is like, he does quickly go, "Okay, but you're sure this will cure me, right?" It's like he does quickly go to, "Now I didn't sign on for that, but now that it's done, I want to make sure it was worth it, though, right?" Like, okay, it's still
that's essentially it's like he definitely can cure this blood disease I have.
Oh, absolutely. Syphilis. And they're all like, "Oh, like that?
Are you kidding?" Yeah. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You meet him, you're good.
Yeah. I also sort of like that idea too of like the dark satanic, like faith healer Dracula that they're presenting him as. I mean, that's sort of an interesting take on the character.
It's an interesting take, and also another thing where, obviously, when he comes in and they're like, "Oh, master," he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you guys too. You also didn't know what you were unleashing.
Yeah,
I don't need followers. I just need your fucking blood."
God, that's my favorite Dracula scene in this. That's the Dracula.
Oh yeah, that's some good shit.
That is good stuff right there. So yes, meanwhile, as we talk about, Harker is drained in the castle.
Yeah, and now Dracula is young.
Dracula is young
with foofy dark hair. He's got foofy.
And I know
hair.
you're already asking me, Brandon, which one of my British detectives does Mark Warner plays Dracula play? Why, he's Inspector Vandervalk, of course. Lest we forget
the Vandervalk Files. I have no idea what. I don't know.
It's just called Vandervalk. It's a BBC series. He plays a Dutch inspector.
I don't for a second think he's a bad actor. He doesn't look like Dracula to me. I mean,
no. I mean,
I'm not talking about capes and all that. He's just got an odd, wrong face for Dracula.
He's a good actor. He's in a lot of stuff. This guy.
Yeah, and that's good because he is good. And I'm not particularly fond of his take, but still,
I think it's interesting. His take. Dracula's presence in this is more as a force, and because it's not entirely his plan, it sort of becomes his plan. He sort of seizes upon other people needing him and then is like, but I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And the 90-minute runtime, I do feel like, Dracula is more of a presence in this than he is like a character.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. He does... again, this is in the writing and in the way they've staged it. It appears to be Dracula. It has been waiting for his chance to come to the New World, take it over.
Yeah, and then it's sort of like, because there's even a line Homewood has where he's like, dude, I paid for all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And so
Dracula's going,
I hope the rich English guy needs my help real soon.
But he also is distracted. And that's kind of true to the book, too.
Well, he's
distracted by Lucy and Mina.
We have talked about his major Achilles heel is he loves the ladies.
He can't get enough.
That's almost every version of him.
He sees Mina's portrait. This is very similar to many of the film versions.
Yeah, he does.
And the portrait also has a clipping of her hair, so he sniffs that. He's like, "Oh God, that's the stuff."
Oh, that's it, man. I haven't smelled the lady's hair in so long.
So anyway, he's on his way to England in the Demeter. Yep. And we all know that trip went real smooth.
I do like when they talk about like I love every time the Satanists come to Homewood with like, yeah, we got another problem. And this is one where it's like, okay, well, so the Demeter actually just like blew right past where it was supposed to stop. And he's just like,
well, the whole thing is that
weirdly, we don't know.
Yeah. I guess the whole thing is that the ship was supposed to dock in London, therefore quick, easy access for the Satanists and for Homewood. But Dracula seems to have made the ship crash around Whitby
too, right? Like, they're not going to do a lot of work.
But he crashes near Whitby because he's like, oh, that's where Mina and Lucy is, maybe. So it's almost like, dude, stay on plot.
Well, and so,
but also he did something clever, and not only are his boxes aboard and everyone's been killed, but he apparently booked himself in there as Jonathan Harker.
Yes.
So this leads Mina to go, oh my God, he died on board the ship.
Yeah.
Not true, but still, anyway.
Well, because that's the thing, where it's then, like, we have a record of, 14 crew members and one passenger, this Jonathan Harker character.
But all we found was the dead captain strapped to the wheel.
Yeah, they're I do like them yanking his body up the beach and stuff like that and going like, hey, we don't know. And once again, Homewood's like, why the fuck is he here? I don't want him here. This is my home.
Yep.
We all said we were going to get together in London. Do it in the city. All kinds of weird shit happens in the city. Don't come up to the burbs, man. I can't have that.
And literally, it is out there. They even include the graveyard, though we don't get Mr. Swales. It's okay. I'm never expecting
I was with it right up until the Swales erasure.
No. But they have that, and they have the whole thing about there are a lot of these graves are empty, and some of them are suicides. This is unhallowed ground, and they keep bringing up Dracula will seek out unhallowed ground.
This is the closest to the goth Lucy that I love from other versions in the novel and stuff like that. Because Mina's like, and you frequently like come out here and hang out around the.
Yeah, she said, "Hey, I just find it very peaceful."
Yeah,
and
it's nice.
And then it's just like, yeah,
anyway, it's nice. That guy killed himself. Oh, yeah, fucking
in the cemetery is where Mina stumbles across, and she goes, "Jonathan?" But I mean, clearly this guy isn't Rafe Spall, but that's okay. But he's like, "No, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Count Dracula."
I don't know if you know what Mark Warren looks like, but you've got to be thrilled about this wig they put on because Mark Warren is super blonde in real life.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, very blonde, very Nordic, very. I mean, that's why he plays Van der Valk, right? Very Nordic looking.
That's the thing about his face. His face looks Scandinavian, which is not a Dracula look. His nose threw me right at the very beginning. When he turned in silhouette as the old Dracula, I was like, that's not a Dracula nose. Aquiline features.
I just imagine you with that. You've got a magnifying glass on your screen. You're going, that's not a Dracula. No, that's just not.
That's not a Dracula.
That's not going to cut it.
No,
you're comparing it to a drawing that you have of him. No,
here he
it doesn't
is
work.
Playing the I am newly arrived. I am from
and he's
Europe,
weird.
And
he's weird, but he's not evil. But he is just like, and she's just like, well, my fiance was on that boat. He's like, oh no, he's dead.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Definitely dead.
Definitely dead. But meanwhile, I'm here. Should we have dinner tonight with your friend Lucy? That'd be great, right?
Maybe, yeah. Come on. Tell your hot blonde friend to come along too. Not bad, huh?
Yeah. You know.
Because Dracula loves the ladies.
And in this one, he actually kind of, because they often, since Mina is the main female character in the novel, that's the one you can tell that Dracula is actually much more interested in. And this one, because Lucy's been made so important, it actually appears that he's like, yeah, no, I'm totally in love with Lucy too.
But he has the line to Homewood where he's like, I'm going to get her because you thought you could control me. So I'm going to I'm going to take what's yours, which I do like. That's very on character for Dracula to me.
Yeah, very much so.
Because we've talked before about, once again, particularly Hammer Dracula was like, oh, you tried to kill me? Yeah, now I'm going to make your daughter a vampire. How do you like them apples, pal?
Still one of the most hard-ass things Dracula did in the
God damn, I love a hard-ass Dracula. And this one has his moments. I want my Dracula with the hardest of asses.
Yeah.
I want to crack walnuts on that thing, man.
I will say, well, he's not really that fit either in the scene. He's the one that's stripped, and this
I think that's fine.
Shade,
I mean, should Dracula be ripped? I never think of him.
No, he shouldn't be ripped. He should be kind of gaunt.
Yeah,
and this guy's just sort of like pasty British.
He looks like he's got an extremely British body. An extremely British body. Yeah. I love. That's my favorite streaming service. Actually, is BritBod.
BritBod. Yep. Some people like their Acorn. I like BritBod.
I like BritBod. Yeah, it's sort of like, this guy is. I think he does a good job with what he's given.
No, I mean, yes, it's just again here and there very effective, but I just don't think.
So let's see. So eventually Seward follows Arthur to the Satanist headquarters or whatever, their Church of Satan. And this is where Arthur gets the blood smeared on him, and he's like, okay, this is great, man, this is gonna work. And he's like, but you got to promise me, as soon as I'm cured, you get this Dracula guy the hell out of here, right? Like he's going home like right away, right? He's not sticking around. And they're like, nah, don't worry about it.
No, he's just visiting.
And then we get one of the most awkward scenes where Arthur just keeps trying to give Lucy gifts instead of having sex with her.
Yeah.
She's like, this necklace is beautiful, and she puts her hand kind of near his crotch. She's like, no. How about this? Look at this ring. Don't you like that? And she's like, well, that's nice, but how about
this? This is one of those plot things where, and I do understand different period of time and so forth, but this is something that could have been solved with a very difficult conversation. Just go, I love you. I do have a disease I caught from my dad.
Yeah.
That is why we can't have penetrative genital sex.
Yeah.
But instead, this is so... He just keeps denying her, and she's like, "Is it me? What's going on?" And she has that talk with Mina.
That's one of my favorite parts, where she's like, "Does Jonathan act super weird about sex?" And like is like, "No," and bats you away every time.
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, is it normal that, because it's been a month now or whatever, and so far nothing's happened. And
is it weird that every time I try to touch him, he goes, "Ew, no, gross"? Because that's I'm starting to get concerned.
Do you think he might be of a different persuasion? And no, he's not.
No,
but he does have syphilis.
She's just so horribly unattractive, Sophia Myles. I don't know why they don't cast a more
she's
beautiful
an
woman.
Uggo.
Yeah, I don't understand.
This movie actually started with a warning. Warning: this movie contains an Uggo.
Contains an Uggo. This, of course, is our second time talking about Sophia Myles, because she was also in Underworld.
Yep, she sure was.
She sure was, and of course, best known to me from Doctor Who.
Oh, golly, what a great part she had.
She did, indeed. And I believe she and David Tennant were an item for a while.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Man, that's unfortunate. So anyone that was an attractive blonde that had something to do with the Doctor Who universe he got with, basically?
I think it was just two, and he seemed to really lock that second one down.
He really did.
Yeah.
They have like 18 children.
Yeah. I think she had kids already when they got married. So I think that was it. But yes, they do seem to have a lot of children. What I see of their life on stage seems very hectic.
Yes. Man staged.
Wonderful.
That was one of the best things, and it got me through.
God,
so much
did
of
it ever. It was so delightful. Go watch that, folks.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where am I going here? Because we've been sort of following the plot, not necessarily as it's presented in the movie, but
Yeah.
So, right. Lucy eventually comes to Arthur and goes, "Look, my friend is really distraught. Could you put in some inquests into what happened to Jonathan Harker?" He's like, "I don't have time for that. Can't you see I'm working with dark magic here, lady?" But she's just like, "For the love of God, you won't have sex with me. Do something. Be good for something, Holmwood."
He does get kind of dumped on because he's just not... he's so obsessed with his own thing that he is purposely ignoring everybody else in his life.
Yeah. Then I love the scene where they bring where Holmwood meets with Dracula, and he's just like, "You listen to me, pal. You work for me, all right? I funded this shit." And this is another Dracula moment I like in this, where he just picks Holmwood up and puts him against the wall. It's like, "What was that? What was that, big man?
Oh, I'm sorry. What? Who's working for who?
Yeah, what is this now? You're waving your credit card in front of me like I give a fuck." You think that matters?
You think it matters you invented the credit card long before it was in... I don't
nice
care.
try.
Nice try, rich man.
I just love anytime anybody is immediately put in their place by Dracula, and it's just like, I think we know who's wearing the pants in this one, buddy.
I like a fuck around and find out with Dracula.
Absolutely. Yeah, my notes just say, Holmwood tries to play hardball, Dracula shows him what is really up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right, now it's on, man." And this is where the shot of Dan Stevens in his full suit in the bed on top of the covers too, which I like.
Yep.
It's just like, nope. I'm like, I don't even know how one would sleep like that. I would not be able to go to sleep in a full suit on top of the covers of a bed.
I kind of laughed. I know that wasn't a comedy beat, but still, I was like, "Oh, okay, man, you're getting your point across pretty clear to your wife."
Yeah,
nothing's happening. Yeah. Nothing's happening tonight, honey.
He just immediately lays down in that full suit. He's like, "Good night." Click.
Good night.
Off goes the light.
Totally ignoring the fact that you're incredibly beautiful and just inches from me. Yeah. Inches.
Nope. But while he's asleep, yeah, this is where Dracula gets a little busy. Am I right? And
he does.
It's very classic sort of Victorian Dracula thing with just the hand coming up out
well, first we see.
You do see that they do the shadow of the bat at the window,
and it's an actual bat.
Yeah.
And then they kind of dissolve it into his shadow, and it's okay.
I like that because they do it subtly. Once again, they know the limits. It's not a cheap bat on a thing. It's a real bat that's just the silhouette on the window, and then it becomes Dracula. But then you get the hand coming out of the covers. It's all very masterpiece theater sexy.
He creeps up from under the covers, and she's basically having sleep sex because the whole thing is she's not fully aware. And did I kind of do a dry heave when he shoved his really dirty fingernails into her mouth?
I loved how fucked up that was. I like that, once again,
I mean,
Dracula's sexuality is very oh God, whatever this guy's getting off on is not anything that's actually sexy to me.
Yeah.
I like that take on him. And it is just like, get in there.
So I'm like,
get those fingies in there, man. That's a Radu move, man.
I will say his face and
get the Radu going. Yeah.
Anders Hove is isn't he also like Norwegian or Scandinavian?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yeah.
It is a similar face.
Yeah.
So in this thing, I was actually looking. I'm going, oh, he's a lot closer to Radu than he is Dracula here. But he doesn't have quite the same fingies.
No, but he's all about using those fingies.
Shoving them right down the lady's throat.
That's it. Taste those fingies, baby.
Oh God! Don't even say it. It's so gross. Oh,
yeah, it is really. It's like really, we don't know where those hands have been, man.
Oh man, but they've purposefully painted up his nails to look like he's clawed his way out
of
a grave.
I do like later when he's when he's at the dinner table with Mina and he uses his nail to open up that like fig or whatever, and you're like, oh God, you can see that dirty sharp nail. And I'm like, that's a nice beat from the director there to make you go like, bull. So the key here though is he not only drinks from her, she drinks from him. So we know that means she's going to become a vampire.
Well, that's in the book. Only in the book he doesn't explicitly have her drinking his blood.
Yeah,
but she clearly had to because she becomes a vampire.
Once again, and this also of course happens in the book and in other stuff over a period of a few nights. Whereas here, once again, we've got to get that 90-minute runtime. So
this stuff it's starting to pick up by around this point because
this is where they call Seward in. They call Seward in
because Lucy's sick.
And I do like the line from Seward where he goes like, I don't know what the hell's going on. She's missing all this blood. It should be everywhere if she's lost all this amount of blood. That's a good line. And then
he's like, well, we're gonna have to do a transfusion. You're the husband. You sit down. Let's get. And
he's like, no, man.
He can't even tell John Seward. He's like, no,
dog, no way. It's
no,
a no.
Dog. He's like,
it's a no for me, dog. Is what he says.
He's like, you use your own goddamn blood. He's like, that's not how it should work. And then he pulls
a piece on him. I love this. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like,
instead of just admitting, like, look. We're both men. Let me tell you, I can't give her my blood because I have syphilis.
This guy he's so far down the rabbit hole at this point, though, that he's just like, and he literally has a line where he's like, you're going to give me your blood or I'm going to spray your brains all over that wall, man.
Yep.
And he's like, good Lord, fine. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And around this time in the novel, Van Helsing shows up to help, but here Van Helsing is not known to any of these characters.
No, this is the Van Helsing take, and this is very interesting.
It's an odd one, but essentially, so he goes the transfusion, and because this is movies like we got to rocket through these things, she just dies.
Well, I do like Seward also goes like, "Hey, what are these marks on her neck?" And once again, still holding a gun to his head, he's like, "I don't fucking know." And then my favorite part is Dan Stevens at a certain point in the scene having to awkwardly put the pistol away, like like legitimately at a certain point homeward going like, okay, he's doing it. When do I lower the gun? I think he's in. All right, I'm just gonna put that back where it was. But yeah, no, they come back and they're like, no man, she's dead.
She's totes dead. Everyone grieves.
And Seward is like, I don't know how. He tells me now, I don't know how, but Arthur's responsible for this. He's got to be. I don't know
again,
what that means.
This is all working with the way they have bent the plot.
Yeah.
And actually, it works emotionally because Arthur, she was the whole reason for all of this.
Yeah.
Is that he wanted that life with her, and Dracula has robbed her from him.
One's classic monkey's paw, supernatural sort of thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there like, what's even the fucking point?
Yeah. And so
it's pretty hardcore.
And Lucy very much a Victorian attitude as she goes, that may be Mina's like, that may be, but just let it go, man. He may have killed her, but let's not even look into it. That's just going to make things worse. Once again, not today's world of true crime, and for sure that husband did it, and we're going to do everything we can to prove it. It's just like, you know what? Harker's gone. Now my friend is gone. Don't make it worse by like poking around and accusing people of stuff.
Yeah.
And so now that this has happened, this is the scene I love, where the Satanist guys, who are basically Dracula's thralls, are like, "We bow to you, master. What do you want to do?" And he's just like, "Oh, I don't fucking need you people." And he just snaps this guy's neck. Doesn't even drink from him.
There's a guy offered up as like, this is your sacrificey kind of guy.
Right. And that guy's like, "Yeah, man, drink me, man. It's gonna be great."
And instead he just fucking kills him without drinking
his
from
neck.
him.
That rules, because once again, that is like such a fuck you from Dracula. It's like, I don't even want you as food, man. You're just gonna die. And then the only time he really uses his mind control here is when he makes the guy shoot himself, which is also very cool.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. He just looked at the main priest guy, and the priest is like, "No, please, no." Yeah. And he's raising the gun to his head.
Yeah.
He just makes him off himself.
Yeah. And then that's like I said, that's the best Dracula scene in this, because that's just pure like, I just rule. What are you gonna do? I'm an unstoppable force.
Apparently, Dracula's evil.
This was the big twist in this one. Turns out Dracula's the bad guy. Who knew?
Turns out he's really evil. But the thing I really, really like is I really like that we're gonna get a sequel. Sorry, I jumped to the end, but we're gonna get a sequel.
Oh yeah, I'll be back. Is that copyrighted? Can I say that? Will Arnold come after me?
I could take Arnold.
Yeah, come on. Bring it, big boy.
No big problem.
So yeah, Seward comes in and finds these guys dead. And this is when he starts sneaking around the crypt and the weird, like, well, not crypt, but like the underground area where they have the black mass and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's like, I found the black altar down there. Oh, these guys really are Satanists.
And this is where he runs into a very unkempt Van Helsing, played by the great David Suchet.
And, you know, I've liked David Suchet, but I've really only seen him in Poirot. But he's absolutely the best who's ever played that character. Sorry, everybody else.
No, I don't think anybody would doubt.
Maybe with an Albert Finney as a runner-up.
I'm a Peter Ustinov guy myself.
I like Ustinov, but I think Ustinov is being broader and more comedic because that movie was trying to be broader and more comedic.
Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. But anyway, no, I don't think anyone would ever question that he's the definitive Poirot.
Yeah, but the thing is that I was like wondering, I wonder how he'll be as Van Helsing. Answer, great.
Of course.
I mean, I wish this were more faithful to the book, and the casting is so good. Everything else,
it's a
totally
bummer we don't get more of him. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's
so his story when they're like, "Who are you? Are you with the Satanists?" And he's like, "I've been kept here." So what it was he got a job from this Satanist church to investigate certain folklore connected to the undead. And in fact, this is called the Brotherhood of the Undead. I think they actually say that's the name of the Satanist group. And he's just an expert, not medical doctor. He's an expert in folklore studies and studies of the arcane or whatever. And so they had hired him. I guess he found all the info on Dracula, gets abducted by Dracula. Apparently, that's what we saw.
He talks about it. They locked me up because I knew too much.
I knew too much, but they didn't kill him for some reason. That's interesting. So they kept him basically as a pet. But now he is an essential tool because he goes, I know what you're up against, and it's a vampire, full-on, real vampire. Yeah. And
let's rip that Band-Aid off right now, full-on, real vampire. It's happening. Let's go.
And actually, again, they don't spend much time in it having other people go, what? They kind of go, okay.
Yeah, well, because once again, there's no time.
There's not too much doubt.
I do like the way this guy hits the ground running, though. Like, once Van Helsing is free, he's like, all right, quickly, I'm going to do a quick shave.
It's now Act 3, and they are moving like
it's time to start kicking ass.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of like Seward brings Van Helsing to Mina, and she's like, I don't know about this. He's like, just for the love of God, this is what's happening, all right, lady? He goes, this is the whole thing.
But you need to stay here because we need to protect you. And she's like, "Fuck that! I want to go with you guys."
Oh, that's the next scene, because first we have once they get Van Helsing there, then Seward goes to talk to Arthur because he's not yet on board with this, and basically it's a scene where he's like, "Bro, you working with the devil? That happening?
Yep.
You come clean." And we get, once again, really good Dan Stevens stuff where he's like, I didn't want any of this to happen. I wasn't supposed to be like this, man. And basically Seward's just like, all right, well, you can't undo what you did, but at least you can help us stop this force that you've unleashed.
Yes.
And that's when we get awesome Van Helsing going like, here's what we do. All right. And it's just like, first off, we
gotta Lucy, go kill your...
Yeah, because they're like, we buried Lucy. It's like, she's undead. She's the undead, man. She's a vampire.
Full on the undead.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We got to stake her. I don't want to hear anything about it, all right? Classic Van Helsing line. I don't want to hear about it, all right?
Yeah.
Because it is,
and you're going to be doing it. I can't. No, you're going to be doing it.
That is always, that's very true to like a lot of the other versions too, of course, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, no, you're going to do it. Look, if I do it for you, you're never going to learn.
Right?
So yes, he.
But here it has the weight of this is your fault.
Yeah.
Where that's not the case in the books, but in this movie, it's like, look, you're going to do it because you brought all this down.
Which I get, and I think is interesting. I'm not saying like this is like, oh my God, finally they're doing this.
Again,
but I do think it's an interesting idea of putting more on Homewood and stuff like that, where it's like, now it's your fault, man. It is sort of your thing to clean up. So they send Mina out to meet with Dracula to kind of distract him, right? And that's where it's like, and I do like, once again, because Dracula, they are using Dracula's weakness for the ladies, where he's just like, so nice you called and asked me to dinner, baby.
This is good. Just me and you, I like. And
this is not bad at all. So, and then we get David Suchet's best moment is this monologue he gets about faith. Because he's like, they're like, how are we going to stop this all-powerful thing? And he's like, faith, my friends. And of course, they're like, faith, oh God. And I was like, no, you listen to me. And it's this whole thing about faith is what will destroy this. And that's, we all have, he basically is like, we all have to be on board with this and believe we can do this. It's great stuff, man. Suchet, now you said you've only seen him as pro. You didn't catch 1996's Executive Decision?
I did see Executive Decision.
He's the main bad guy in it.
Yeah, but I just
you don't remember him as Hassan?
Executive Decision.
I always am thinking about Executive Decision. He's a madman on a plane full of nerve gas, and only Kurt Russell can stop him.
Only Kurt Russell can save us from David Suchet.
Yeah, playing a not at all offensive Middle Eastern terrorist character.
No, not at all.
No, it totally works. And of course, he has to team up with sexy flight attendant Halle Berry. Oh
man, that's the only way you can get stuff done.
It's the only way. And Oliver Platt is there crack-wise. So
yep,
good cast though.
Man, Oliver Platt,
love that guy.
I miss that guy. I don't see him enough.
Wait, have you been watching? You were starting to watch The Bear last I talked to you because he's on there.
Yeah,
and he's great.
I know.
He's great.
I know, but it's like one of the first things I've seen him on a million times.
I love the guy. Yeah, he makes anything better. All right, so they're going. They go to Lucy's grave. She is a vampire. Does the classic like. I do like that she goes to Seward and it's just like, you gonna let these guys stake me? You know, you always thought I was hot.
Man, I know. She's doing the I am a seductive vampire lady.
It's the classic scene that I never get tired of where she's being seductive vampire right up until Van Helsing busts out that crucifix. And then she's like, it's like, see? Man. She's a fucking monster.
And she lays down on the ground first to kind of like, I'm gonna do, instead of her going back to her coffin, which is usually the way it works.
Yeah.
Instead, she lays down on the ground like she and Arthur are about to do it in the crypt. And Arthur's like, well, as long as you're down there, and then you got Van Helsing go, do it through the heart.
Yeah,
and I'm sad to report, I'm very sad to tell our fans and listeners that the BBC and Masterpiece Theater, they don't know where a heart is either. What is so hard about putting the fake steak over where a heart really is?
This is your undying quest on this show, is to get somebody to get that right.
It's the easiest thing. It's like, here's the heart over to the left on the breastbone. It's up here, and they always do it somewhere underneath the rib cage.
Well, we always talked about the classic Cushing method of you seem to go in and then up with it, right? Like you're going.
Maybe so.
That's what Cushing seemed to be doing. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but that was how his Van Helsing seemed to go up into the heart, which is an interesting choice.
It's okay to try to avoid ribs entirely. Sure.
Yeah, man. It's just I want to make sure it's a one, bang, and it's in there. That's what it is. I just want him to teach the class, right? Like he's just going, all right, now so you're going to lift it up, and then it's kind of an angle, and then wham.
But Seward does get the job done.
Give it to no, it's Homewood.
I'm sorry. Yes, Homewood gets the job done.
Yes.
And what's interesting here, another interesting idea, is that killing Lucy is felt by Dracula as if it's hurting him.
It's what stops him from biting Mina out on the street. He's like, ah!
Yeah. Oh yeah, he followed her down the street. It was real creepy. It was real stalkery. I didn't like that.
That really worked. And so this is where they're like, okay, we've got her, and now we have to go after Dracula. Mina, you stay here. We're gonna put all this garlic around. That's what she's like. No, you're not just gonna leave me here.
You're not gonna leave me here.
No. And they're like,
and that's probably smart. And she's like, don't you know I'm kind of a hero in the book? And they're like, oh, right, you're right, come with us.
Well, this is a little bit like, we don't have time to argue because there's 5 minutes left in this movie.
Yep.
And so, they all go to, I guess this is Carfax Abbey?
Do they even say what it is, where it is?
No,
it's just one of the locations.
They just know where he is. They're like, that's where he is. That's where his box of dirt is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is some line that either Seward or Homewood has about like, he really needs this dirt, huh? That's weird.
It's that supernatural stuff, that weird nonsense. It's like, how does that make sense? It doesn't. All right.
I don't know. It just
take it on faith.
That's Van Helsing. Just like, it's faith, man. It's like, that's what you say to everything. Well, it is.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I only know how it works. I don't question why it works that way.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. That's Van Helsing. So they go. They find Dracula in his lair. Dracula grabs Mina, and Arthur's like, no, take me. Let her go. And he's like, all right, fine. And then he tears Arthur Holmwood's head off.
He does.
I was like, holy shit, Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah.
They're playing for keeps.
They're playing for keeps. Hope you weren't too invested in that character. And he had already, like I said,
I knew he would. He was
for forgiveness. He was redeemed as a
hero.
The
second they had him be responsible for this, though, he's going to die. That's just the way the story has to work. He has to pay for that. I did not expect him to get his head ripped off. And I know,
man.
Once again, it's another thing where they, of course, only have what resources they have. So it's mostly in shadow. So I'm not looking at like, oh, that's a fake head, because it's kind of in shadow, and you mostly just get the sense of it. It looks pretty good.
Well, again, that was proper filming and editing, where it's like, we know it probably won't look good up close. Or if you linger on it.
It's effective.
So we're in, we're out. It's effective.
Yeah, it's I said,
you can go online and there is an auction. You could win your own Dan Stevens head. You could have that prop.
It's my dream to own a Dan Stevens head. But then I'm gonna make the hair so it's the proper Comic Book Legion hair.
There you go.
It is.
That's what I want.
There it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that though. But then he's going after Mina again, but Seward gets behind him and stakes him through the heart.
Yeah, Seward just basically comes up from behind, and
it's time to end this.
The idea of Seward, who is like the one guy in the novel that doesn't have anything to do with the actual death of Dracula, other than he is present.
Right.
I find it funny that he's the guy in this version that actually kills him.
Well,
because it's Harker and Quincy Morris that killed Dracula in the novel.
Yeah, those characters sort of both just get put in. Like Seward sort of becomes the stand-in for all of them to a certain extent, right?
Sure.
In this version, and sort of the simple.
Especially because at the end, we're not there yet.
Yeah, so he stakes him, and I do like that Van Helsing's like, "Did you get the heart?" And they look down at Dracula's body that is now burning away into smoke, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I think we're all good here."
Yeah, I think we're good.
So they burn up. Then we get our little epilogue, which is Mina at Jonathan's grave, but writing in her diary or whatever that she's not gonna mourn him.
She's not going to mourn for him because that's not what he wants.
She'll carry him forever with her. As she travels the world,
she's going to travel the world, taking Jonathan's memory with her, and that's
we get a little flashback to a shot of them earlier, and she talks about like you'll forever be this young man to me, and that's nice. That's all good stuff. This actress does a good job, I think. I mean,
it's very sweet. Stephanie Leonidas, is that her name?
Yeah, Stephanie Leonidas, correct.
She's good. I mean, again, not note perfect.
Well, and once again, I mean, all of this.
But I like her in this, and I liked the character. And at the end, again, this seems almost this whole movie feels like fan fiction, and that's fine.
Well, but
it does feel like
version always fan fiction?
Yes. But in this one, it does feel like someone was like, well, in my version, I always wanted the two smart people, Seward and Mina, to hook up. Yeah. So they're going to hook up here at the end.
Well, they're gonna imply that they could hook up down the road. They're like, let's walk
Van
off
Helsing
together.
being like this charming old guy going, you guys don't need to accompany me back to the train. It's a beautiful day. I think two such happy young people should spend some time together. Wink, wink.
Yeah, I mean, what I like is though they don't like have them kiss or something. It's just sort of like
no. It's
like
let's
go.
It's just like, okay, sure, Mina, would you like to have lunch? Yeah, let's have lunch.
Yeah, and I mean, also I was also thinking like, well, I guess they kind of have to be together. How would you meet anyone else and like carry on a relationship with someone who didn't experience all this shit?
Yeah, they are the survivors.
Yeah, we've got to do
this. They walk off into London, and then as they walk off,
I found this unnecessary.
No, I found absolutely necessary.
That they walk past like a homeless guy, and all of a sudden it's just
they walk past a little clutch of homeless people, and they're all scabby, and then the one that has the long white hair turns around, and it's Dracula.
It's Dracula, baby.
Yeah. Did you miss me?
Yeah. They make such a point of killing him, and then he's just like, no, Dracula 2, check it out next year, man. Catch me each and every week.
For you, Mina,
catch me each and every week on Dracula on the BBC. I'm getting my own show. No, so that's
it. That's the end.
Yeah, and it really is like, we're out, man. We got to get out of here because it's over, and there's another program starting right now.
They slapped those credits up really fast.
They really did. So that's 2006's Dracula. I think this, like I said, this one, it stands out, which is nice. It takes swings. It does. I would
actually recommend this to Dracula fans. Again, you might not love it, just like I didn't love it. It's just interesting.
It's just not what I was expecting, which, like I said, from Masterpiece Theater is good on them. It isn't what I've complained about in so many of these of just like, well, we're doing the book, but we're doing it cheaply, and we're not really being careful about what parts of the book we're including.
We're just leaning into Dracula thrills. This is trying in its way to take on Victorian literature from a different viewpoint.
Yeah.
Again, where it's like, vampirism being kind of a disease of the blood. Syphilis was a big deal. All this, it's kind of clever construction. So
I think
you might
clever.
not love it, but it's worth a watch.
It is, it's definitely hurt by its production value. Although, like I said, I think this director finds a lot of ways around that. There's only a couple places where you can really feel. But for a BBC 90-minute thing, I was impressed. Because I went into this kind of going, oh God, another one of these.
Again, I'll consider that a palate cleanser. What's coming up next week?
Next week, we're going back to the werewolves, and back to, in many ways, the original werewolves. Brennan, with a little film called Skinwalkers.
Oh, Skinwalkers. I haven't seen it.
I have not seen it either. We get some of our old, well, I was going to say favorites, but just people we know.
I'm not going to say favorites. We just get old.
Once again, Natasha Malthy is in it.
Oh.
We're going to be seeing a lot of her upcoming. Have we seen... We did briefly see Rona Mitra in Underworld. And did we see her in something else? We saw her in Hollow Man. Hollow Man. She's back. Yeah. I think a first on the show, though, but somebody I know we both like quite a bit. Elias Koteas is in it.
Oh, we all love him.
Love him. The great Kim Coates, also a really good character actor.
Sure.
And the most interesting thing about it, and the reason I know of this movie, is it's written by Psych star James Roday. Is one of the screenwriters. Is it really? Yeah. Yeah, he's not in it, but he wrote it.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, he's a big horror guy, so I mean, I don't know.
I have no preconceived notions.
I don't really know anything about it.
This is kind of a C-string cast, but that doesn't necessarily mean it won't be fun. So
yeah, like I said, I'm curious. I remember it coming out and like seeing it around, but just never.
I remember the poster.
Which is the woman with the big werewolf fangs.
Yep.
Yeah. For them to
All
live,
right. We'll
must
check
die.
that out.
Yeah.
And we're doing this for you. We're watching this film for you.
We're watching this film. Know that whatever we think of it, it's your fault one way or another.
You are the Seward, and we are the ones paying for your sins. I don't know what the hell that means.
I don't know what that means either. But I think that will wrap up this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
As long as they have the proper nose shape.